Good afternoon. It was a good start out there today. It's nice to finally be out practicing with the team, moving towards our 2013 season. I think I would tell you what I told the team every time we go out there for the first time, whether it's in the spring or the fall. I'm always reminded of how hard it is to play good football. Offense, defense, special teams, all the details that are involved. And with football not being a game that's played all year round, to just step out there day one and look like you're ready to win Division I football games, it doesn't happen. But in your mind as a coach, you have these high expectations and you're driving the team towards these expectations. And we'll certainly be better by practice 14 and 15 than we are right now. But it's hard to win Division I football games. It's hard to play good football. And we've got a lot of work to do to make sure we give ourselves an opportunity to do that next year. Questions?
I was going to say, just for day one this year compared to day one last year for you, how much more is it confident feeling going for what you did last year?
It's certainly a different feeling. I think anytime you do something for the first time, there's always a little bit of anxiety about what it'll look like and how everything will run. And now that we've done it for a full year, other than integrating the new coaches into it, it felt very similar to what it felt like at the end of last year. And it was good to see the younger players out there, running around. It's tough to really make any evaluations until you put some pads on and have a few days in the pads. But it was good to see those guys moving around out there, and you saw some of those younger guys on offense struggle with the formations and the shifts and the motions and getting lined up. But that'll all come. I don't have a concern about that. That'll come.
Was there anything particular that kind of stuck out to you? I know it's only the first day.
I thought the energy level was really good, and I think when you lose a group of players who had the type of presence that group had last year, it wasn't a concern more than a curiosity to see how the players would react to that. I think the best teams that I've been a part of have been player-driven in that respect. I think if the coaches are constantly prodding to get that to happen, it's not really what you want. But I thought the players drove that today. I thought the players were vocal. I thought the players cheered each other on. They had a pretty good time ribbing each other when they felt like they made a good play, although it's one of those things, again, until the pads go on, it's not really football. But I thought that energy level and the communication and the excitement to be out there day one was good.
Kyle, if it's tough to evaluate till they get pads on, what kind of things are you just looking for other than energy today?
Really precision, and I think the things that you can evaluate, when more so on film than out there with the naked eye, is certainly the footwork, the location of the ball at the quarterback position. I think is something we'll be a lot better at in a couple practices than we were today, and that'll help. I know there were a couple of turnovers in the practice that I think the location of the ball can correct, and I heard that word used quite a bit out there on the field by Coach Spence and Coach Prince. And I think as they practice a couple times here, that will certainly get much better, more precise, to use the correct word. Those things I think you can evaluate. The other things, the blocking and the playing off blocks and the tackling, that'll all come and really be valued more than anything else in the scrimmages than a scripted practice, but we'll certainly be able to evaluate them better when we put the pads on as well.
How much of an adjustment do you think Gary will have to go through with a new offensive coordinator?
I don't think there'll be much of an adjustment at all. I think for all those quarterbacks, although the coordinator is different, the language is the same, the system is the same, the passing concepts are the same, the reads are the same. I think what will happen is they'll get a feel for what the play caller likes, and the play caller will get a feel for what they like, and they'll meet in the middle a little bit, and that's ultimately what the offense will become.
How long does that take, that feel?
I think they'll work through that in the spring. I think by the end of the spring they'll have a good idea. Coach Prince will have a good idea of what direction he'll go and how he'll call the games and where he'll take the marriage of the runs and the play actions, and then where does the third down package fit and all the other things that go into playing well on offense.
How is the spring more for positioning for the summer to win jobs, or can jobs be won now?
I think it's hard to win a job in the spring. I think it is exactly what you said. I think spring puts you in a position to go win the job in the fall. Certainly, more so than anything else at positions where there's no returning starter at all, like one of the linebacker spots. We're looking for that third linebacker. I feel very comfortable that Jamal Morrell has played at a high level here, and I feel that Kevin Snyder has played at a high level here. Kevin had the misfortune of playing behind some very talented football players, where he might have played a little bit more. But that other spot, it's going to be hard for me to say coming out of spring that we know exactly who that's going to be. I wouldn't say it couldn't happen, but I think it'll be more setting up the depth chart as we go into fall training camp.
Is Kev going to be moving back and forth between Mike and the Will?
I think he will. I think we'll play him in both places this spring, and what that'll do is give us an opportunity to figure out who is the best third player to get out there, so we make sure we don't say, okay, who is the best Mike or who's the best Will. Let's find the third best linebacker and get him out there on the field and keep the best players out there.
What can those redshirt freshmen bring to the table at linebacker, like Steve and Wazel, that would enable one of them to maybe take that third spot?
I think they're gonna have to be great communicators, and then they're gonna have to make plays. Yeah, I think every quality system on offense and defense should put its players in a position to make a play. And then when they're one-on-one, whether it's in the run game fitting the right gap or it's in the pass coverage of being in the right place to knock a ball down or get an interception or make a tackle in space if something does break down, those will be the things that we'll evaluate.
Kyle, was there a message to the team as they took the field today? Kind of, coming off of last year and program that you wanted to build here?
The message here is I think very consistent. What we're looking for, players who play a tough brand of football. We're going to run the football and we're going to stop the run. We're going to protect the football and we're going to take it away. And then we're going to play at a high level on special teams. Those things are going to be at a premium all the time here at Rutgers. And then we're looking for the players who can play at a high level on the most consistent basis. Because inconsistency is frustrating for coaches, but in a much worse way, inconsistency is catastrophic for a football team. And then we're looking for players who have very high expectations, both of themselves and the program. And I think those are the players that will win championships with.
What do Garif and PJ bring at cornerback, and how do you anticipate that competition shaking out this spring?
They bring some experience that the other guys at that position don't have at the college level, although neither one is a returning starter. So that is certainly an advantage for them. And I think they both have, although slightly different skill sets, they both have the ability to play at a high level within our system. They're both working towards being complete players, being able to play in the run game, being able to cover one-on-one, man-to-man in the coverage structure. So the rest of that, what they bring, will be determined really over the next 14 practices.
Kyle, can you just touch again on the Sandy relief and how you're trying to bring attention and what the feedback has been from your kids and other people yesterday?
Well, the feedback coming off yesterday's announcement has been very positive, and really for us, it's no more complicated than wanting to keep this issue out there in front. And it's something that it didn't get solved overnight, and it's not going to get solved by our spring game. But hopefully, what we're doing will bring attention to it, and I know the generosity of the people in the area here, the people that have the ability to give and will give, will help. Will be another small way that we can help, and I know there's a lot of people and a lot of places that are trying to do that as well. So hopefully, if we can keep the issue out in front, then the people who are affected by that storm, we can make sure that they get what they need.